Hey everyone, Dr. Zeo here again, and today we're here to talk about the penultimate episode for Power Rangers Cosmic Fury, Episode 9, Master Plan. As always, we'll do our summary, likes, dislikes, and then our conclusion. So, let's get right into it. In this episode, Lord Zedd unveils his master plan. Well, not necessarily Lord Zedd, but Ollie does, because he's good again. So the episode starts off with Zato, Billy, Ion, and Solon all discussing Zato's new magical abilities, and the fact that Solon and them have tried coming up with a way to counteract the negative effects of using magic or to stop those effects from happening in general, but unfortunately that hasn't worked. And Ion's like, okay, Zato, you need to stop using magic, period. And so basically Zato's like, I can't do that. I'll do what's needed to be done for this team. And it's a real somber moment, and I like that. At this point, they get a transmission. It's a live stream from Lord Zedd himself. In addition to gloating that he captured Slither and Mucus, he's also here to tell the Rangers that, yes, their plan succeeded and that they destroyed the Tricera Dino Henge statue. However, Ollie is still evil, and Begilia is alive. Remember in the last episode when we saw a little tentacle, kind of making its way outside of the Resistance HQ? That was Begilia, and I guess she regenerated herself somehow. I don't know if squids can do that. I don't know. They can't do that. I don't know if they can grow back limbs, but whatever. So, at this point, Ollie does an about face, turns around, and shoots Zedd and Begilia and all of them with his Tricera blaster, grabs the camera and tells them, hey, Lord Zedd's plan is to make himself a Morphin Master. And at that point, Begilia and them get control of the camera again, and they imprison Ollie. Amelia's like, okay, we gotta go to Elatar now. Billy takes her off to the side and is like, okay, I understand, Jones, what you want to do here, but we can't come with you. Like, the other Ranger teams, we're all around the universe, fixing what's been going on, liberating different societies. We've got people, we've got aliens who've had their whole homes destroyed, and we're taking them to New Tech City here on Earth. Nice little SPD reference there. If you decide to go now, you're going to be going in alone. Whereas if you decide to go a little bit later, we can overwhelm Lord Zedd with the force of so many different Ranger teams. And Amelia's like, this is my team. This is what I feel is right. We need to go in now. So he's like, good luck, Jones. He teleports away, and Amelia, they decide to go, let's go. And they go to storm the base. They end up freeing Ollie, Slither, and Mucus, but not before Begilia traps them all in the fortress with a 20-second timer for an explosion. The explosion happens, but Zato uses the last of his magical abilities to protect them all with a nice little bubble shield. Basically the same thing that Master Green used on the Rangers to protect them from Lord Zedd's kill shot back in Dino Fury Season 2, the episode when they were on Ravcon. It was sad. It was sad because this was Zato's last moments with his team, and he ends up ascending back into the Morphin Grid, and Ion grabs onto his spirit and ascends as well somehow. I don't know exactly how that plays out, the logistics of that within the Ranger universe, because I know it wouldn't work here. There's a lot of things that wouldn't work here, but that's beside the point. And basically, the Rangers go back to the base, they put Ion in the med bay, and then Ollie is basically like, hey, Lord Zedd's really powerful, especially if he gets the power of all 6 Morphin Masters. What we need to do, let's try and figure out a way if we can combine all our weapons together. And they end up doing that and combining it into the Cosmic Blaster. Basically, it's a combined cannon of the season. And they find out that, okay, there's an energy signature in the mountains of Elatar. That's probably what Lord Zedd is. So they all go there. Meanwhile, while Ollie's giving a rousing speech about using the Cosmic Blaster, Solon notes that Zato's Morpher is now glowing, so it's now tuned to Ollie's signature, and then they also have Master Red Staff there as well. So they all go, they surprise Lord Zedd. Surprise, we'll get to that here in a second. They surprise Lord Zedd, they fire at him with the Master Blaster. That does nothing, because Lord Zedd now has the abilities or the strength of a Morphin Master himself. Complete with a new form and everything, he's now calling himself Master Zedd. He blows the Rangers away, and he ends up destroying all the Cosmic Fury Zords. I'll talk about that here in a minute, but he ends up destroying all the Cosmic Fury Zords, keeping the Rangers at bay. Meanwhile, Amelia and Ollie are hiding behind a rock, and they come up with an idea. they'll use the Master Captivator to capture Lord Zedd because he now has the abilities of a Morphin Master, and he's basically a Morphin Master himself. However, before they can act on this plan, Slither, Begilia, and a news crew pop up, and Slither grabs the Master Captivator and captures Lord Zedd himself. At this point, the news crew interviews Begilia. Meanwhile, the Zentos pick up the Cosmic Fury Blaster, shoot the Rangers with it, demorphing all of them because, yeah, okay. And then Begilia reveals that this was all part of her and Slither's master plan. They basically con Lord Zedd into becoming a Morphin Master so that they can use his energy and recreate the Z-Wave, except now instead of purging the universe of evil, it's going to purge the universe of good. So they're going to just shatter the energy tube, basically the Master Captivator that Lord Zedd's currently in, so it creates another Z-Wave and purges the universe of all good out there. And that's one hell of a plan. That is honestly a good plan. And the episode ends with them counting down from 10, and it ends at them counting down to 2, and we have a cliffhanger. So let's go and talk about my likes for this episode, because there are quite a bit of them. This is a really good episode of Cosmic Fury. First things first, the SPD shadow. Establishing that the Rangers are going to take the aliens who had their homes destroyed and bring them into New Tech City, which we all know as the home of the SPD Power Rangers in the year 2025, is a good way to establish or further establish SPD within this universe, so we know that it's not retcon. I mean, they've been doing that for the last few years, but again, it's just further building blocks for SPD being a thing here in the next few years, especially as it seems like we might not actually have a Power Rangers season ongoing at that time. Additionally, there was a Megazord battle between Inkworth and the Rangers as they were coming into Eltar, and they formed the Cosmic Fury Ultrazord, which is a combination of the Dragon Fury Megazord and the Cosmic Fury Megazord. They ended up beating Inkworth. Again, Inkworth isn't really worth mentioning except for one thing he did in this episode, which is the best thing he's done all season. And that said, when they ask who destroyed you, tell them the butler did it. And as someone who just saw Clue for the first time earlier this year, I just thought like a nice little Clue reference, which is good. It made me laugh for sure. Also, the Cosmic Fury Ultrazord, while definitely a big and bulky Megazord, and it kind of gives shades of like those clusterfuck Megazords that used to be popular from like what? Samurai through, I don't even know when that stuff ended, but it gives me clusterfuck Megazord vibes, but it also looks nice. I kind of like it. I kind of really like it. Like, it kind of makes me want to buy the Dragon Fury Megazord if that ever gets released here, but if not, I'll probably just buy the Japanese version, but again, it looks kind of dope. Don't tell anyone I said that. Also, while Ollie's being captured, or while he's captured and chained up, he's talking with Slither and Mucus, and basically he's saying that he's worried about what Amelia will think about him now that he's worked for Lord Zedd, and all this kind of stuff. And Slither, with the help of Mucus, reassures him that basically everything's going to be okay. She knows that you did that because you were under Lord Zedd's control, but otherwise y'all two are going to be great. And that was nice. It further shows that Mucus and Slither are forces of good now. And the fact that at the end of the episode, they even tell Solon, hey Solon, call the Ranger teams you can, we're going to go help the Rangers, and they teleport away. Again, just further solidifying that these two have made a monumentous journey from being evil to being good, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it all the way. Oh, and when they demorphed after saving Ollie, Amelia said power down. And I understand it's inconsistent with the way that these Rangers have been morphing for the past 3 seasons, but you already know, before once and always, Power Rangers had not said power down for a demorph since Power Rangers Jungle Fury, the episode where Camille, cons the Rangers into thinking that she's good or whatever, but that was years and years ago. So hearing power down said in Once and Always, and then hearing it said one last time here, just makes me so happy. Just makes me so happy, because for whatever reason, just power down to demorph is such an integral part of Power Rangers DNA for me, and I know a lot of people might disagree with me on that. I don't know why I feel that way, but it's just such a cool thing to do, and the fact that they got to say it here, it warms my heart. It makes me think, again, that somebody was listening to my complaints, to my random ramblings last year when I reviewed Dino Fury Season 1 and 2, and I'm just happy. I am so happy. Thank you, whoever made that decision. God bless you. Also, Amelia calling Ollie babe and saying that, babe, we're good. Ugh. I'm here for it. I'm always here for cute couple moments between these Rangers, and that was good. That was so, so good. On that note, Bejilia had the foresight to prevent the Ranger from teleporting out of the fortress while she was doing her countdown. Props to you, Bejilia. You're showing that you have the capacity to learn, because Lord knows these Rangers have been teleporting non-stop this season. Like, I'm pretty sure Cosmic Fury has the most teleportations in any season of Power Rangers, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, and we'll talk about that more in my episode 10 review. But yeah, the fact that she stopped them from teleporting out of there, props on you. Props on you. Further, it further gives Zedd a reason to use his shield and basically take one Ranger out, even though they couldn't take out the other Rangers. But yeah, props to you, Bejilia. Props. Also, when Bejilia mentions her countdown, Slider says, a countdown to destruction? I see you, writers. I see you. Countdown to destruction reference there with Power Rangers in Space, being the supposed last episode of Power Rangers at that time. I see y'all. That was clever. Also, when the Rangers teleport to the mountains of Eltar and Lord Zedd's in his chair, Izzy has her face covered and she's like, let me guess. Tube, tank, big chair. Basically guessing Lord Zedd's whole setup there, and that was funny. I love Izzy moments, and this is gonna be one of the last ones ever, and I'm hurt. I'm so hurt, but I'm happy that we got to have this moment anyway. Speaking of Lord Zedd in his chair, Master Zedd, as he calls himself when he's a Morphin Master, I like the outfit. He has a nice new scepter or a nice new Z staff. He's got a cape. Can never go wrong with a cape. I mean, the whole shebang is good, and so if the Lightning Collection line wasn't getting canceled, I would say I hope we get a figure of him, but we're not going to. Someone should make a custom figure of him, because that is a great design right there. Also, I had a good chuckle when the Sentinels picked up the Cosmic Fury Blaster, and someone, I think it was Izzy, was like, can they use that? And Amelia said, no way. And then they immediately fired at them. Like, that was funny. That was really funny, and I would not have expected the Sentinels to be able to use it all willy-nilly like that. Also, them mentioning the Z-Wave wasn't surprising, but what was surprising is that the guy who was interviewing, or the alien who was interviewing Bejilia, did mention the Z-Wave specifically took out all the members of the United Alliance of Evil. So for them to remember that specific bit of lore, props on you, writers. Y'all know your shit. I'm proud of you. Or I would expect y'all to know your shit, but I'm happy that you do. That's great. And that's a nice little... Is that a deep cut at this point? Oh god, I'm old. Ugh. But anyway, so Bejilia also says that there are no similarities between her Z-Wave and the original Z-Wave that Zordon had, and that was funny. That was funny. She said it was copyrighted or something along those lines, and I just thought that was entertaining. But let's go ahead and talk about my dislikes, which are basically... The Rangers mentioned on the ship, before they've gone to Eltar, that they have, or not before they've gone to Eltar, but before they go face Lord Zedd on the mountain, that they have the element of surprise, but they don't actually utilize that in any way, shape, or form. They just teleport straight to the mountain, and they're like, hey, Lord Zedd. I'm like, I don't understand, what was the point of mentioning the element of surprise if you're not going to surprise him at all? Like, that just felt like a weird decision there. Additionally, Master Zedd destroyed all the Cosmic Fury Zords. And they barely bat an eyelash at this. Like, it was the most unceremonious way of destroying Zords I've ever seen in Power Rangers. Like, it's like no one cared. I certainly didn't care. I wasn't made to care in that moment. I'm like, this looked bad. The CGI there was bad. But that whole moment just lacked any sense of gravitas to it, that there should be some gravitas to it. Like, these Zords were hidden by the Morphin Masters. Like, they went through a lot to get these Zords, and I need at least Javi. Javi's the one who called the Zords in the first place. I need him to scream about the Zords getting destroyed, because he lost his whole damn arm unlocking these Zords. Like, they should have an extra special place in his heart. And yet, no. Oh no, he's destroying the Zords. Like, come on, fam. I need y'all to give some more there, please. And last but not least, Ollie's first fight as Cosmic Fury Blue being this wasn't it. Not at all. His first fight amounted to shot at Lord Zedd with a Cosmic Fury Blaster, got blown back, hid behind a rock, then after that got blasted by Sentinels and demorphed. Like, what? Like, I understand he's been fighting as an evil Dino Fury Blue Ranger this whole time, and those fights were dope. I liked that suit, all that good stuff. But for him to finally join the Cosmic Fury team as a Cosmic Fury Blue Ranger proper, that should be a big moment. That should have him fighting Lord Zedd in hand-to-hand combat. He should feel some type of way against Lord Zedd because he hasn't been with his team this entire time because of Lord Zedd. And yet, it just treated like any other day. Like, there was nothing special about him joining a team. There was no hatred between Ollie and Master Zedd. There was nothing. And I'm like, that seems like a squandered opportunity. But anyway, that's really all I have to say about the episode here today. Overall, still a good episode, even with a few blemishes here and there. Ollie should have had more of an active fight in this episode. He should have had more, of an angry attitude toward Master Zedd. The CGI and the Zords wasn't it. The fact that they got blown up so unceremoniously wasn't it. But there is still a lot of positive to take away from this episode. The emotional moment of Zato dying here again, them actually getting to say goodbye, in a way here was good. His sacrifice again was good. There were a lot of good moments here in this episode. So yeah, I loved it. But join me tomorrow as we take a look and review Power Rangers Cosmic Fury Episode 10, The End. Until that time, thank you again for watching. I do appreciate it. Like the video, like the audio, rate it, all that kind of good stuff. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to my audio podcast because it does help with the algorithms around the net. But otherwise, again, thank you for watching. Hope you all are being safe. Have a good week, weekend, wherever you're watching this or listening to it. Otherwise, until next time, I'm Dr. Zio, and I will see you all for that final Cosmic Fury review next time. Ciao.